guys, it's Sarah and I am here to do a book review for you today. This is going to be my non-spoiler review of a book called Try Not to Breathe, and this is written by Holly Seddon. This book comes out on February 23rd and I received a free copy of it through NetGalley, and I really wanted to make sure I did a video for it because I absolutely loved it. This is probably the best book that I've read through NetGalley that I've gotten so far. So, Try Not to Breathe is a psychological thriller, and it's been blurbed as compared to a little bit of Gone Girl, not quite as twisty and turny, but just something that keeps you guessing the entire time, and it definitely delivered on that aspect of it. So this book follows a young girl named Amy who is 15 years old in 1995. She ends up disappearing on her way home from school and is found 3 days later in a coma, basically. And she kind of goes into mainly a vegetative state and is kind of hospitalized in a coma. So she's basically considered brain dead, and for probably the first couple years, it was all over the news and trying to find out who did this, and no one was ever convicted of it. So fast forward 15 years into the future, and a reporter named Alex Dale comes into the hospital where Amy is, and she has been tasked to do a report or an article about the doctor's research that are working with these patients who are presumed kind of brain dead, but the doctors are saying they're actually not brain dead. They do have brain activity, they do have memories, they do have feelings still, and they are just trying to do research and trying to figure out how to bring that about. So our reporter Alex ends up realizing that Amy is one of the patients there, and she had recognized Amy because they grew up, she was about the same age and they grew up in the same town, so she knew exactly who Amy was, even though she hadn't heard anything about her for quite a long time. So as soon as she saw Amy, she said, "There's something here." So Alex finds herself moving more from the science aspect of this to Amy specific, and it kind of snowballs into she wants to find justice for Amy. We also are introduced to Jacob, who is an anonymous patient visitor of that ward in the hospital, and basically he comes in, he sits with the patients and he talks to them, kind of helping to encourage their brain activity even if they can't respond to him. It's like a whole, comfort with company type thing. Turns out that Jacob is Amy's high school boyfriend and was her boyfriend at the time that she was taken, and he is there mainly for Amy, but also visits with the other people as not to really give himself away because it's anonymous, no one knows who he is, and his wife doesn't know that he's visiting Amy, but he's been doing it for quite a few years. So our reporter Alex, being a reporter, finds out who Jacob is and exactly his relationship to Amy, and they end up joining forces and basically go in together and try to actually finally solve who attacked Amy. They end up talking to people from that time period, people that Jacob can easily get in touch with because he was a part of it, and they really just find themselves kind of reliving her last days that she can, remember, and those are kind of her last actions before she was in this comatose state. And while this is happening, her doctors are still trying to prove that Amy and these other patients do still have memories, they do still have feelings and thoughts. They just, even though they can't relay it directly the way that anyone else can, but they're still there and they're trying to scientifically prove that. So this book jumps between kind of viewpoints. You get Amy's perspective, which is told in first person, which I really, really liked. So you get her perspective. When the book starts out, it's Amy before she's taken, and you don't hear the details of what happened when she was taken. You kind of do throughout the story, but not in the very beginning. You just know that she disappears. And then every time we come back to Amy, it's in first person, so it's I. And you get before the attack happened, you get kind of during the attack, not super detailed, but you know what happens. And then it's also afterward, after the attack, when she is laying in the park in a comatose state, she doesn't know what's happening, she can't move her body. Also while she's in the hospital. So every time it comes back to Amy, you're getting that first person perspective and you're seeing her through the different stages of what she had gone through. You also get the viewpoint from Alex and from Jacob, but those are both told in third person, so it's all she and he, it's never I. The only I is from Amy, which I thought was really brilliant because it really makes you feel more toward Amy than the other characters, and it kind of makes you root for Amy more and therefore root for the other characters because, you know, they're trying to figure out what happened to her. So I thought that was really brilliantly done. So you're also following Alex's story and some of her backstory and, you know, why she's a freelance reporter versus a regular reporter. She had some issues. Alex is also an alcoholic, so you see her struggle with that and, you know, just some relationship issues that she's had in the past. You kind of see her go through that as well. And Jacob is married now and has a baby on the way, but you see him struggle because of what happened to Amy. Even though it was 15 years ago, it really still affects his life. Obviously, he still visits her in the hospital, but it affects his marriage as well, even though his wife doesn't realize it. And you kind of see the kind of things that Jacob is going through as well. All of these characters were very flawed and very vulnerable, including Amy. Amy had flaws as well. She wasn't a perfect princess when she was attacked. But I really like that about it because it's very believable and the characters are very realistic, and seeing them go through the things that they need to go through to try to find Amy's attacker is very realistic and very well done. So I love the fact that they were vulnerable and that, you know, they weren't perfect because nobody is, let's be honest. And this book really fulfilled my desire for a psychological thriller because I was guessing the entire time on who the attacker was, and still, but towards the end I still had no clue. I was still guessing people. I was like, is it this person? Is it this person? I bet it's this person. Oh no, maybe it's this person. Maybe it's someone that we haven't even met yet. You know, you never know. And that's what I loved about this, and it really did keep you guessing till the end. I read this on my Kindle and I got to 95% and we still didn't know exactly who it was. So that really helped me read through it really quickly. It took me a few days to get through the first half of the book, but the second half, I went from like 53% to the end in one day. Just, I could not put it down because I wanted to know what was happening and who it was and, you know, what the end result was going to be. And I was not disappointed. It was very, very good. I really enjoyed this book. This is the best book that I read from NetGalley so far. And yeah, like I would buy this book and I would give it to people and I would definitely recommend it. I gave this book 5 stars, which is a good rating for me to give to a NetGalley book. I don't believe I've given a NetGalley book 5 stars yet, but I have now. And this one just, it really lived up to my expectations. So if you want a good psychological thriller, I would definitely recommend this book. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Please let me know if you have any questions. And like I said, this book is being released on February 23rd. So if it's something that you think that you would be interested, I would go ahead and pre-order it. Honestly, I think it's going to be pretty popular. I hope you guys have a great day. I'll see you again soon. Bye.